Chopperoos, Chad here, and today's little video clip I'm going to show you how to put down some laminate flooring. Now with this flooring here, I'm not actually going to show you how to properly cut it, scribe it, and fit it, but a good accurate way to do your measurements and your layout for putting this wood down. Now there's some pros and cons to the laminate flooring. The first one is that it just snaps together. You don't need any nails to put this one down like you would for a hardwood floor. The disadvantage with this floor is, though, if you ever do nick it, scuff it, scratch it, or just don't like the color anymore, you can't sand it down and stain it like you could a hardwood floor. But the labor that you'll save and the time and the amount of money that you'll save on tools, sometimes this is a good alternative to the real deal. Hey, I'm on location now of where I'm going to be putting down our laminate flooring. Now, some of the work I've already done in here, which doesn't really matter to flooring, was I knocked out this wall and put in these columns. Aren't these columns beautiful? At any rate, let me show you how we're going to get started with our flooring. One of the first things we need to address is how level is our floor. In this case, our floor was pretty bad and I really had to put down a leveler. And that's a whole nother lesson in itself. But once the floor is flat, the next step to move to is we're going to get ready to put down our laminate flooring. Now, laminate flooring is pretty straightforward and easy to do. You can follow the directions right out of the box. But there's a couple issues that we have to deal with. First is, whatever product you're using, make sure you have the proper underlayment. Now this one actually comes with the underlayment attached to the bottom. But other applications, you'll have to put down either like some kind of felt paper or something prior to laying your flooring. Here's the biggest issue that we have to deal with to do our first row. This wall sits back farther than this wall. So I can't start with my flooring here and coming out. Likewise, I can't start with my flooring here and come out. I'm actually going to start with my flooring here and measure back. But before we do that, I'm first going to have to take some measurements and draw some lines. Lines? I can draw lines. I can draw straight lines and squiggly lines and curly lines and wavy lines. These are the lines I was talking about. This line was the center of the store. Then from that, I measured over to the edge of that column that I was showing you in the previous clip. That was 79¼ inches. So I went from 79¼ from the center to the column, and I went from 79¼ from the center over. And you can see I snapped another line. Now, all of those are going to be different along that wall, but that chalk line there is going to be my first row. I'm going to measure back and cut those pieces to fit the first row. I'll show you that next. This was actually my first starter row. I put a second row on it just to keep it more stable. From there I started working back. You can see I had a full piece, and then here I had a full piece but then had to cut it down. And then here I basically scribed it to the wall, leaving my 1/4 inch expansion gap. And then from there all the gaps will be hidden with some 1/4 round when we put it in there. You know, here's a little tip for you. They want you to keep a 1/4 inch gap between your flooring and the walls, and they sell 1/4 inch spacers you can buy, but typically the laminate flooring is a 1/4 inch or just a tad over, so any kind of little scrap pieces you might have make for the great little spacers. As you can see, we're moving right along. Moving. Every so often though, that center line that you had, keep taking a measurement from the edge of your flooring to that center line to make sure that you're still running straight. If you have to tweak it a little, you probably can, because remember you got that 1/4 inch gap down there, but we got 3/4 inch 1/4 round that's going to cover it. So you do have a little room to budget if you got to. Here's the reason why the measurement of those lines was so important. Not only did we do this room, but this room followed into 3 more rooms. And so those lines had to maintain a straight pattern all the way to the back. If we were slightly off, by the time we got to here, everything would have been crooked. Well, I finished the floor, but I couldn't do it alone. I needed the help from my friend, Safety Dan. Safety Dan's one of these guys, when he talks, it's deep. Hey, Safety Dan, come on in and say hi to our fellow chopperoos.
Hey.
Hey, indeed. Well, that's our show for now. So, I guess we'll say, ciao.
Ciao. I'm not even hungry.
No, Dan, ciao is like, I think, French for goodbye.
I don't like French food.
Well, it's the favorite part of my day. I like to dance.